you need to know where your financial means are at. How much money do you have for a down payment? That's where you need to start off. You could want to start huge, but if you only have $5,000, how can you start buying 150 units if you don't have the money for it? So forget where you want to start. It's how much money do you have to be able to invest in a property? And that's going to determine how many units you could purchase, because a bank is not going to let you, just because you say, hey bank, I want to buy 150 units, but I don't have the down payment for it, so I want you to give me a loan based on what I wish for, not what I can afford. You won't be able to get the loan, so it's useless to go there. So what are your financial means at the moment that you're able to get? And you have to remember, depending, right now the interest rates are huge. We don't know if they're going to stop where they're at or if they're going to continue increasing. So you have to put down a substantial amount of money, because right now the banks are not just giving 2% loan. Oh, I'm going to put 2% down. So you have two ways of doing this. The way that I would recommend you doing is maybe starting off with that money that you have to be able to buy yourself maybe a duplex. I'm not sure in your market what they go for. Start with yourself. Learn the business. Managing 100+ unit is not easy. It's not as easy as people say, oh, I'm just going to go buy 100 units and I'm just going to be able to manage it. It's not that easy. And you could lose your investment that way. So my suggestion would be, don't take no one's money. If you have that kind of money, go buy yourself a duplex, something that you could then understand how the rental business works, how to manage it. Even if it's only 2 units, it still gives you the heartbeat of how to collect the rent, how to make sure that your service is taken care of the right way when they call in for a ticket, any kind of repairs that need to be done, those kind of things that you know how to handle the pressure. And then once you have, I'm not going to say master it, but once you've gotten your feet wet in it and you understand it, then maybe bring in other people's money where you could say, hey, I have the experience of managing X amount, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tenants, and I'm ready to move on to the next step. Would you like to come into a partnership with me? I could be the managing partner, whatever it is. But going into something and going to someone and saying, hey, can I have your money and invest it with me? But I've never done this before, but I'm going to guarantee you that you're going to make money on your money. How many people are really going to do that? Unless you really know them and they're your close friends, and some won't. Some family members will, some family members won't. Like me, I don't care if it's a family member or a friend. I still won't do it if you don't have experience in it, because I know what it is to go into a investment without having experience in it. No matter how much PMA and everything you got, but if you don't know how to do it hands-on, I will not advise you to go big or take anybody's money until you don't do it with your own. But that's just me. I know many people that have started off by getting other people's money, putting 0 down, and buying the properties with being the lead manager on the project. Some have failed, some have succeeded. Once you own this property, I would look at that property, do 2 advice. One would be refinancing the property, taking out the valuation that you have in the property. I'm sure if you bought it for whatever, it's already increased in value, especially that they will look at it as a business, not as a single family. So depending on your cash flow, they're going to add that times 12. They're going to take away your expenses and whatever it is. You're able to refi that and take out the cash that you put into that property. But you got to make sure that the rent that you're receiving from that property will cover the debt ratio on the new loan. Right now, our interest rates are freaking crazy, something that we weren't expecting. So I'm not sure how that would work in this market right now, just because of the rates. Because if you would finance it, the rates are going to be higher. I just think that if it was a different market, if we have a different interest rate at the moment, I would tell you refinance it, take that money out, and then go buy a new one. And now you have 2 properties instead of 1. But it's just, I don't think it'll make sense with the rates that are happening today. The other one is sell it to another investor. You have to evaluate that home as a business, not as a residential home. And you could sell that deal to another investor, get that money, and go buy yourself a fourplex or whatever the numbers that work, that you could get the next one. Don't sell it for the amount that the regular homes are selling for, because this is not a regular home. This is an investment property, and you're going to sell it to an investor, not to a residential person that's going to live there, right? Not to the end user. And then that way you're able to take out that money and then go buy yourself a bigger property. So that's what you need to do, is that you need to sell that one and get all that money and put it into a multi. Those are difficult to find. Those are not so easy that you could just drive around and find them. You have to find a realtor that deals with those small multifamilies. And remember, anything under 4 doors, you're able to get as a residential loan, which is cheaper than getting something that's more than 4 doors. And then at that point, then it's a commercial loan. If you stay with 4 doors, you will get a loan with very low down payment, and that makes sense for your mortgage. So I would put it on the market and go get yourself a fourplex.